He killed a white woman and a white man. Oh, we just know. I'm gonna tell you right now. When I saw it when I was doing this time, I was like, he is going to prison.
Yeah.
No doubt. I think OJ gone. Heard about this part, but it is a serial killer. His name is Glenn Rogers. Go ahead and Google him and look him up. But we're gonna tap into Glenn Rogers. This guy right here saying that Glenn Rogers was hired by the juice, but I'm telling you, it might not be true, but Glenn Rogers did kill Nicole and Ron Goldman. So let's get into it. Listen to this right here.
Norman Pardo joins me now. Norman, thank you so much for joining us. First, your reaction to the news today that OJ Simpson is dead.
Well, it's a sad day because nobody really gets to close the book without OJ telling what happened. It's sad.
Yeah, we just heard from that statement from Kim Goldman. I think they were always waiting for true accountability, and they never got it. And it's interesting, you've alleged in this documentary that OJ didn't act alone, so perhaps some accountability might be coming for somebody else. Tell me why you think he didn't act alone.
Well, we spent 20 years investigating it. It wasn't like a 2-minute thing. And we found out who did it. OJ was with the guy who did it at the beginning, but after OJ got cut, he ran out and left. So OJ wasn't really there for all the murders. He was only there and just got cut. The other guy did he did it all, really.
What other guy?
And he's a bona fide killer. It was Glenn Rogers. The guy that everybody said couldn't have done it, but he was there, and our investigators found all the evidence, including where he worked and where he lived.
And who was Glenn Rogers to OJ?
Well, he was a guy that actually wasn't really working as much for OJ. It's working for a few people. He was supposed to keep an eye on OJ and find out who was dealing her drugs.
Okay.
And when they confronted Ron in the garden or in the front there, that's when a fight ensued between Glenn and Ron. OJ got cut in the middle of it, and he ran out the door and left us all fighting on. That's why OJ never believed he did it, because he was already stepped out of the gate by the time it happened.
When did you last speak to OJ, and what did he say to you? Can you hear me? When did you last speak to OJ?
Yeah. About a month ago, we got back together to sort of reconcile our situation, because he got really mad at me when I showed him the letter from Glenn Rogers from prison. He was in prison. I sent him a letter that Glenn Rogers sent to me stating, tell OJ I'm sorry about what happened to his wife. I didn't mean it. So I sent it to OJ, and I expected OJ to say, oh, wow, you found the murder. Instead, OJ blew up and said, I can't believe you're talking to this guy. I told you to stay away from this guy. I don't know you anymore. That's when I knew OJ knew him. And he got real mad at me, so we didn't talk for a while. He told all his family and friends, don't talk to me. I'm a bad guy. And I just kept the investigation going until it was done.
So when you did speak to him about a month ago, he must have known at that point that he could be dying soon. Did he say anything? I mean, usually people want to get something off their chest if they know they're close to death. Did he?
All he said was basically he wanted to just basically me and him get back to where we were before we started an argument. He just wanted to be friends again.
All right, but nothing about the events of that night.
And that was no, he wanted to just forget about it. He never wanted to talk about what happened that night. And he knew that I had found out. I mean, you can go to ojtapes.com. Anybody can. I put also some real cool video footage of just OJ so people can know what he's like. So you can see what happened, and you can see him talking about it. So really, that's the place to go to for OJ stuff. You can't really just... OJ's like a chameleon. He changes every day. You never know one OJ from the next.
Yeah.
Was he a bad guy? He wasn't a nice guy, that's for sure. Was he a murderer? That's in question.
Norman Pardo, thank you for your perspective. Interesting.
I appreciate you having me on the show.
All right, fam. This is Glenn Rogers. This is the guy that I am telling you was the one who committed the murders. Just listen for yourself. Do the investigation for yourself. Get the racism out of the way. Get OJ is a suck kind of guy. But look into just the evidence of what's going to be said right here in this video.
Strange coincidences, a recent meeting, and some outlandish claims. Here's why Glenn Edward Rogers confessed to the murder of Nicole Brown Simpson. In the early morning hours of June 13, 1994, the bodies of 35-year-old Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend, 25-year-old Ronald Goldman, were found lying in pools of blood outside Simpson's Brentwood, California condominium. As reported by Penn Live, both Simpson and Goldman had been stabbed multiple times, and their attacker had fled the scene. In the course of their investigation, authorities learned Nicole was the ex-wife of former football star OJ Simpson. Per AP News, law enforcement officials went to OJ's house at approximately 4:30 a.m. to inform him of Nicole's death. They immediately noticed what appeared to be a bloodstain on OJ's Ford Bronco, as well as a trail of what appeared to be blood leading from the vehicle to the front door of his home. As they were suspicious of OJ's possible involvement in the murders, authorities obtained a search warrant to search the inside of his vehicle and home.
I always said it was the most depressing and sad night of my life.
During the search, law enforcement officials found a bloody glove, which was similar in appearance to a glove found at the murder scene per AP News. They also found more bloodstains inside Simpson's vehicle and home. Simpson was ultimately arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder with special circumstances on June 17, 1994. However, he vehemently denied any involvement. During the trial, prosecutors argued that OJ and Nicole had a notoriously volatile relationship and that OJ was jealous of Nicole's relationship with Goldman. Meanwhile, OJ's defense team argued that he was framed by police officers who had a history of racist behavior. They also argued that the evidence against OJ simply did not prove he was guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. The trial, which lasted 9 months, concluded on October 3, 1995. Jurors determined OJ Simpson was not guilty in the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman per Newsweek. Although Simpson and his supporters think the jury made the correct decision, others believe the former football star got away with murder. Over the years, several theories regarding who else might have killed Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman have been suggested. One theory, which was presented in the 2012 documentary My Brother the Serial Killer, suggested that the pair were actually murdered by serial killer Glenn Edward Rogers. In the documentary, Glenn's brother Clay Rogers said, "I'm absolutely certain that my brother killed Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman." Clay also suggested that Glenn had the means and opportunity to kill Nicole and Goldman, as he was working as a house painter in the area when they were murdered. Per ABC News, Glenn reportedly told his brother and sister that he met Nicole and noted that she was wealthy.
"They got money, they're well off, and I'm taking her down."
In an interview with a criminal profiler, Glenn allegedly claimed that OJ Simpson had hired him to steal a pair of earrings and kill his former wife during the robbery. Glenn also provided specific details about the deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman, which further supported his claim that he committed the brutal murders. ABC News reported that in addition to knowing details about the murders, Rogers was able to draw a detailed picture of the knife he claims to have used to kill the victims. According to ABC News, filmmaker David Monahan said he believes the information provided by Glenn's brother. Combined with Glenn's confession to the criminal profiler, Monahan believes that this should have been enough to prompt an official investigation into his possible involvement in the murders. However, Ronald Goldman's father, Fred Goldman, disagrees. When asked about the information presented in the documentary film, Fred said per ABC News, "The fact of the acquittal at the hands of the jury will never wash away this murder from the hands of OJ Simpson, no matter how many Glenn Rogers pop up on the media radar screen." Glenn Edward Rogers was ultimately arrested 6 weeks after Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman were found murdered. Law enforcement officials said he went on a crime spree and is suspected of more than 70 murders throughout the United States, per ABC News. Rogers was convicted of several murders and subsequently sentenced to death in both California and Florida. However, he was never arrested and indicted in Brown Simpson's and Goldman's deaths, nor was he mentioned as a person of interest in those crimes.
All right, fam. So that is the reaction of what happened. Now, this is the murderer right here on the screen. The man murdered Nicole and Ron Goldman. Here's the thing. They did not want to persecute Ron Goldman. They wanted to persecute OJ Simpson. Now, in the end, I know if his confession to be true, that OJ collaborated and said, "Look, go kill them," it could be true. And I could believe that. I can believe that this guy went somewhere with OJ or OJ sent him. I can believe that. Now, the details of it can get foggy on what was said, because it could be his word against OJ word. But we can agree, based upon the evidence that's been presented, The man knew what the knife looked like. He knew details of the crime, and he confessed to it on 2 different occasions. So I believe that this is the person who actually killed both people. Now, whether or not OJ said go kill him or go get my earrings, I don't know. But I am going to say this. Why didn't they try both of these people? They caught him 6 weeks after the murder. That doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense why you just want to just make OJ the person who killed him. I believe that you probably could have got a conviction if you would have had him and OJ. I think it would have been really, really hard to get OJ off. But nope. What happened was OJ is the bigger fish, and the bigger fish was he did it. Now, here's the thing about what OJ did appear guilty. Let me tell you why I say that. He did some stuff that I was like, hey, why the fleeing? Why the driving away? Why the little Bronco chase type of thing was going on? And whoever he was talking to on the phone, which probably should have been his attorneys at the time. And truth be told, this guy right here not showing up to trial got OJ off. That's basically what happened. Without this guy going to trial saying that, hey, OJ told me to do it, got him off. You know why? Because when OJ goes to jail in Vegas, some people went with OJ, and OJ told them to go with him to get his memorabilia back, and they all snitched on OJ at the end. They all snitched on him, and OJ went to prison. Like, they didn't go to prison. This would have been the same case had y'all brought him in, but nah, y'all wanted to slam dunk. And in that time, I'm gonna be honest with you, in the 80s, Negroes was going to prison. All you had to do is get them in front of someone, and he killed a white woman and a white man. Oh, we just know. I'm gonna tell you right now. When I saw it, when I was doing this time, I was like, he is going to prison.
Yeah,
no doubt. I think OJ gone. But let's be honest. If it wasn't for that dog detective, what his name? Mark.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember.
He had them nigga tapes. He had them nigga tapes. When they came out with the nigga tapes, he had every black person on his team. Prior to that, everybody said OJ did it. Everybody said, he going to prison, he going to jail. But when he got them doggone nigga tapes, when your man said he never used the word, I was like, come on, man. We talking about during that time. We talking about like during the time of Rodney King beating. Around that same time, you said you ain't use that word? Come on, bro. Matter of fact, it was disrespectful for you to even say that you didn't use the word. And then when they went and found you saying the word, I said, you can't make this stuff up. This is made for television. That's how it became 2 sides at that point. It was OJ and it was white people who said OJ did it. It was never about the evidence at that point, because they still could have brought him in 6 weeks after the murders. I don't get it. And then when OJ gets off, let me tell you something. When OJ got off, you saw the divide of America. OJ he made us realize we wasn't free again. I'm just transitioning a little bit. He made us realize it was 2 sides, a white and black side. And now that he's died, he's dead. I wonder if that's still the case. I wonder if anybody know about this guy right here. This guy right here who committed the murders. Now, T-Bone, he's going to let you know something, how he feel about the connection between the two. What you got to say, T?
No, hey, man, I'm not saying it's impossible that this guy, apparently, if he know the details and all that stuff. I hadn't reviewed everything about, as far as his arrest and what he said in relation to the OJ crime. But if he had that type of knowledge about the weapons and the murder scene, yeah, it's possible. It's possible that OJ did a murder for hire. I can see, stranger things that happen. Ray Carew, other folks have, murder for hire. That's not off the menu for, for rich folks that don't want to get their hands dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but only thing is, like I said, this guy was a serial killer. He killed 60, 70 people. So he was. So it's hard to say that OJ was in league with a serial killer, but that gets, how did he come across him? And I'm a hire, and he just lucked up and happened to hire a serial killer. That's awesome, right? For somebody want to kill somebody. But anyway, I think OJ did it. I think he got off because the evidence was severely lacking. You right said Mark Feldman did not do himself any justice with the tapes in regards to saying he did, in regards to creating a racial tone to the whole thing. The lawyers worked that very, very well. I think OJ beat the rap, man. Like I said, I think he got off. I think he had something to do with it. He beat the rap. It happened. It happens. They got him in the end in regards to that memorabilia crap, which everybody's like, what the hell? That's crap, right? They got him in the end. They kept working with him. They kept messing with this man. So they got their revenge in the end. They got him on the civil cause. He had to pay. I don't know how you win and lose, but whatever. I won the court. I didn't get convicted of murder, but now I got to owe. How that worked? I don't even understand how that worked. That don't even make even logical common sense. But y'all, not y'all. The court systems, allowed that to happen. So anyway, I saw that to say, yeah, OJ got it, man. This guy may have helped him. I don't know why he would randomly confess to that crime. That's he already got 70. Like he ain't had enough on him anyway. I no need to add 2 more. But anyway, hey, whether he did it or not, that man did. And now at this point, whatever day he died, he faced the true judgment. So we'll let that be what it be.
Right. Fam, if you believe OJ had nothing to do with it, whether or not OJ had accomplished like this guy right here, Glenn Rogers, or you just believe Glenn Rogers did it on his own, man, put it in the comments. And if you like this video, check this video out.